Norfolk's winds carried secrets, but none colder than my family's. Betrayal stung sharp. They said I failed, crumbled under pressure. Deceit was stark. My father, Edward, rewrote my story. My sister, Sophie, stayed silent. Pain cut deep. At her Fort Ramsey ceremony, I sat uninvited, my old uniform tight. Silence weighed heavy. Captain Lucas Hayes stopped, eyes locked on me. Shock hit hard. "She's in charge, ma'am," he said, voice clear. Truth broke free. The room froze, their lies exposed. Resolve burned bright. My fight began there, quiet but fierce. Justice loomed near. For years I led a covert unit, unseen, unnamed. Purpose anchored me. At 40 I carried scars from missions no one could know. Pride stood tall. Edward, a defense contractor, valued contracts over truth. His greed was bold. Sophie, my sister, chased my old path, her metals gleaming. Her silence was cold. They called me broken after Kandahar, a soldier who cracked. Their lies were cruel. I let them until Fort Ramsey's hall where I sat invisible. Grief lingered soft. Hayes' words shattered their narrative. Honor stirred faint. My name wasn't gone yet. Courage took root. Kandahar wasn't failure, it was choice. Truth stayed buried. Operation Dust Veil 2022 was routine. Extract tech, burn the site. Orders were clear. But voices echoed inside, faint, desperate. Instinct screamed loud. I defied protocol, breached softly, found 8 civilians alive. Hope surged quick. Command approved, but the report erased me. Deceit ran deep. My voice, my orders vanished from logs. Loss was stark. Edward's clearance sealed my silence, protecting his deals. His power was vast. I faded, took a desk job, logistics, numbers. Life felt hollow. Edward never asked my side. His distance was cold. A defense mogul, he crafted my burnout story, his voice smooth. His control was tight. My mother nodded, avoiding my eyes. Her silence was heavy. Sophie, Fort Ramsey's star, never spoke my name. Her rise was swift. Her interviews praised family legacy, ignoring me. Pain cut deeper. I called once, her voice soft. I wish things were different. Her regret was faint. Then silence, no texts, no calls. Family turned ghost. I let them erase me until I couldn't. Resolve grew firm. I drove to Fort Ramsey, 12 hours, no plan. Purpose drove hard. My uniform faded, smelled of dust, resolve. Memory held strong. No invite, no seat, just a back row chair. Invisibility was mine. Cadets marched, Sophie among them, eyes forward. Her pride was sharp. Hayes entered, scanning, then froze. His pause was vivid. "She's in charge, ma'am," he said, saluting me. Truth broke open. My mother stiffened, Edward unmoved. Their shock was bare. I nodded, no smile, no salute. Strength stood tall. Their story cracked. Mine began to rise. Justice waited close. Fort Ramsey's halls echoed with whispers, but none louder than Captain Hayes' words. Truth broke sharp. My family's lies, Edward's erasure, Sophie's silence, crumbled under that salute. Betrayal stung deep. I sat in the back, my uniform tight, unseen no more. Resolve flared bright. Their narrative frayed, but danger loomed close. Tension gripped tight. Nora Kane's office became my stronghold, her files my shield. Hope sparked soft. Tara Flynn's encrypted drive fueled my fight. Courage surged strong. Edward's power loomed large, but my voice was rising. Justice waited near. Norfolk's fog clung heavy, mirroring my heart. Pain lingered raw. I worked logistics, numbers my refuge, but silence was suffocating. Loss weighed heavy. Edward's contracts thrived, his reputation polished. His greed was stark. Sophie's metals gleamed, her silence colder. Her distance was cruel. I cataloged their moves, interviews, deals, omissions. Truth built steady. My journal filled, each entry a step toward reclaiming my name. Purpose anchored deep. Tara, my old cryptographer, sent a drive untraceable. Her gift was bold. Inside my voice, Dust Veil's orders uncut. Evidence burned bright. Tara met me at a diner, her eyes scanning the room. Her caution was vivid. "They buried you," she said, voice low. Her anger was fierce. The drive held audio. My commands approved, erased. Deceit ran cold. Edward's clearance sealed it, protecting his empire. His power was vast. I hacked the logs, Tara whispered, sliding a USB. Her risk was real. Access codes traced to his Pentagon office. Truth hit hard. I gripped my coffee, knuckles white. Resolve stood firm. Their lies were unraveling, my fight gaining ground. Justice loomed close. Nora Kane's office smelled of ink and steel. Her strength was sharp. A JAG lawyer, she knew military cover-ups. Her focus was deep. Your audio's gold, she said, scanning files. Hope flared quick. It proves command approval. Evidence was raw. We needed more. Witnesses, logs, cracks in Edward's armor. Strategy took root. I nodded, tracing a pen's edge, heart steady. Purpose held strong. They'll fight dirty, Nora warned, eyes narrow. Danger was stark. We gathered proof, emails, timestamps, whispers. Truth stacked high. Their narrative was fraying, mind-sharpening. Courage burned fierce. Tara posted to X. Norfolk hero erased by family. Impact roared wide. Her blog Codebreaker's truth lit up. Her voice was bold. YouTube's going wild. Spam those likes, she texted, grinning. Her spark was vivid. Comments flooded. Elena's a legend. Support pulsed strong. Veterans shared stories. Silenced missions buried truths. Solidarity was fierce. A think tank offered to fund my case. Opportunity knocked loud. I sorted files, heart racing. Hope surged high. Edward and Sophie grew reckless, their moves bold. Their arrogance was blind. My trap was tightening. Justice stayed near. Dinner at Edward's estate was a charade, silver gleaming under lies. Tension hung thick. Sophie brought wine, her smile forced. Her unease was stark. Edward praised her promotion, his voice hollow. His guilt was bare. I poured coffee, watching their glances. Deceit was vivid. Sophie's hand brushed Edward's sleeve, a silent plea. Her doubt was faint. To legacy, I toasted, voice smooth. Bernie cut deep. They clinked glasses, oblivious to my plan. Control held firm. My journal noted every word, every pause. Truth grew stronger. Their confidence wavered, cracks showing. Resolve stood tall. Nora uncovered a bombshell. An altered mission log. Shock hit hard. Dust Veil's report named a ghost commander, not me. Fraud was clear. Edward's signature authorized the edit, his clearance unmistakable. His betrayal was raw. He protected his contracts, Nora said, pulling records. Evidence burned hot. A civilian death, misreported, tied to his firm. Danger was real. I gripped my chair, heart pounding. Anger flared sharp. They buried lives, not just my name. Justice demanded action. Nora nodded, her plan firm. Strategy was fierce. I met Sophie at a cafe, her eyes avoiding mine. Her guilt was soft. I knew, she whispered, voice breaking. Her truth was raw. Edward said you failed. Her pain was real. I showed her the audio, my voice clear. Shock cut deep. Her hands shook, tears falling. Her heart was torn. I stayed silent, she said, voice low. Her regret was stark. I held her gaze, steady, calm. Connection stirred faint. Help me, I said, voice firm. Courage surged quick. She nodded, jaw tight, ready to act. Family wavered close. Tara's post hit 10 million. Elena fights for truth. Impact soared high. YouTube's buzzing. Share your stories. She texted, eyes bright. Her push was vivid. Comments cheered. She's unstoppable. Pride swelled strong. A veteran group invited me to speak. Opportunity roared loud. I polished my old boots, heart steady. Purpose anchored me. Edward met with Pentagon suits, his moves frantic. His fear was bare. Sophie hesitated, her loyalty split. Her doubt was deep. I logged their calls, their emails, my pen steady. Truth stacked higher. The fight was nearing, my voice rising. Justice loomed large. Nora mapped our move, her office a war room. Strategy was sharp. We'll expose them in review, she said, files stacked. Resolve burned fierce. I nodded, tracing a metal's edge in my mind. Purpose held steady. Edward's firm sent threats, demanding silence. Their greed was bold. Sophie visited, her voice soft. Her mask was thin. I can't lose him, she said, eyes wet. Her fear was stark. I hugged her, firm, warm. Connection grew deep. You won't, I said, voice steady. Hope stayed strong. Their end was nearing, my trap set. Justice waited sharp. Days passed, Norfolk's air heavy with secrets. Suspense hung thick. I sorted evidence, my hands steady, heart racing. Control held firm. Edward and Sophie grew careless, their whispers loud. Their downfall was near. Tara's posts hit 20 million. Elena's truth shakes Norfolk. Impact roared louder. YouTube's obsessed. Drop those hearts, she urged, grinning. Her call was bold. Sophie brought a log, Edward's override code. Evidence was vivid. Marcus Tate, my old tech, confirmed it. Truth surged high. The review loomed, our fight ready. Resolve stood tall. Norfolk's sunrise painted the skyline gold, but truth shone brighter. Hope bloomed vivid. Edward's empire teetered, Sophie's silence cracked. Truth surged high. Tara's posts lit up, X millions rallying. Impact roared wide. YouTube's on fire, spam those stars, she texted, voice electric. Her spark was fierce. I sorted mission logs, my hands steady. Purpose anchored deep. Nora's files towered, the hearing imminent. Justice stood near. Sophie clutched a pen, her resolve wavering. Family hung close. Marcus Tate's testimony burned hot. Triumph waited sharp. Their lies would fall, my honor restored. Resolve blazed strong. Fort Ramsey's hearing room buzzed, air taut with expectation. Tension gripped firm. Officers, veterans, reporters packed the benches. Curiosity pulsed high. Edward sat stiff, his suit crisp, eyes cold. His arrogance was stark. Sophie lingered, her uniform sharp, gaze low. Her guilt was bare. Nora entered, her briefcase heavy with proof. Her strength was vivid. I took my seat, boots polished, heart steady. Courage burned bright. Tara whispered, YouTube's buzzing, drop those hearts. Her push was bold. The panel called order, silence falling. Justice loomed large. Nora stood, her voice cutting clean. Authority was sharp. Dust Vale's logs were altered, she said, sliding files forward. Evidence was raw. My commands approved were erased, Edward's clearance traced. Deceit cut deep. Sophie stood, clutching a signed affidavit. Her courage was fierce. I knew, she said, voice steady. Truth spilled fast. Her testimony detailed Edward's orders, his rewritten reports. Fraud was vivid. The room froze, murmurs rippling. Shock hit hard. Sophie's eyes met mine, soft, raw. Connection grew deep. Marcus Tate took the stand, his voice calm. His resolve was firm. I patched Elena's call, he said, holding a drive. Evidence burned hot. Audio played. My voice clear, saving lives. Truth rang strong. Command approved, he added, eyes steady. Honor stood tall. Julia Wells followed, her tone fierce. Her support was real. Elena saved us all, she said, voice unwavering. Pride swelled high. Ryan Park nodded, confirming logs. Solidarity was fierce. The panel leaned forward, faces grim. Justice took hold. Edward's mask slipped, his hands trembling. His fear was raw. Sophie spoke again, her voice breaking. Her pain was stark. I stayed silent, she said, tears falling. Her regret was deep. I let Edward rewrite her. Her truth was bold. The panel froze, pens stilled. Silence hung heavy. A JAG officer read her affidavit, time-stamped months ago. Proof was vivid. Elena acted with honor. It read, her signature clear. Family stirred close. I nodded, no smile, just calm. Forgiveness flickered faint. Sophie sat, head low, her fight begun. Courage soared high. Edward stood, his voice hollow. His defense was frail. I protected protocol, he claimed, eyes darting. His lies were thin. Nora countered, presenting access logs, Pentagon codes. Evidence was stark. His firm's contract tied to a misreported death surfaced. Fraud cut sharp. The panel's eyes narrowed, whispers fading. Tension was raw. Edward's lawyer, pale, shuffled papers. His retreat was swift. Cuffs snapped on a subordinate, not Edward. Karma landed soft. His empire cracked, his name tarnished. Justice stood firm. Outside, Norfolk's air felt lighter. Freedom tasted sweet. Tara's post hit 30 million, Elena's truth prevails. Impact roared loud. Comments flooded. She's a hero. Support surged strong. YouTube's obsessed. Share your triumphs, she urged, eyes bright. Her call was vivid. Sophie hugged me, her grip tight. Family felt warm. Marcus grinned, handing me a patched radio. His gift was real. I stood still, no gloating, just calm. Resolve held steady. My name was mine again, my honor restored. Legacy bloomed bright. Edward's firm faced probes, contracts frozen. His fall was swift. A Norfolk paper ran a headline. Contractors' lies exposed. Gossip cut deep. Clients pulled back, deals collapsed. Loss stung sharp. I sat in my loft, tracing a mission coin. Purpose anchored me. Terror urged me to speak, to share my story. Courage burned fierce. I wrote a letter, posted on X, raw and clear. Truth flowed fast. I fought for lives, not glory, I said. Honor stood tall. Apologies poured in, veterans, colleagues, strangers. Support soared high. The letter went viral, 40 million views. Impact roared wider. Elena's unbreakable. Comments read, hearts piling. Pride pulsed strong. A veterans group offered a fellowship, ethics reform. Opportunity knocked loud. I polished my old badge, heart steady. Hope burned vivid. Edward sent a note, no apology, just, I was wrong. His regret was faint. I tucked it away unmoved. Healing stirred soft. Sophie joined me, her smile hesitant. Connection grew stronger. I'm here, she said, voice firm. Family felt whole. My loft glowed, no longer haunted. Legacy stood tall. I turned the Norfolk warehouse into Haven House, a veteran support hub. Redemption was mine. Wood floors, open desks, a coffee bar. My touch. Comfort was warm. Opening day drew crowds, survivors press. Connection ran deep. I spoke, voice steady. We rise, not fall. Strength shone vivid. 5 veterans, coffee in hand, nodded. Their hope was real. Tara filmed, posting, Haven House rises. Views hit 50 million. YouTube's in love. Tell us your fight, she texted. Her spark was bold. Cheers echoed, my mission reborn. Triumph was ours. Sophie visited, her eyes clear. Love anchored us. She'd left Edward's shadow, started teaching ethics. Her freedom was bright. Marcus sent a patch, a radio insignia. His care was warm. Stay loud, he wrote, grin implied. His strength was real. We dined, laughter filling the loft. Family felt alive. A think tank invited me to speak, Tactical Truth Summit. Opportunity roared loud. I stood, sharing my story, voice clear. Truth rang vivid. Attendees clapped, eyes wet. Connection pulsed strong. The past faded, my future bright. Legacy endured always. Spring warmed Norfolk, skies open and clear. Life felt vibrant. I trained new recruits, my hands steady. Purpose held firm. Sophie designed a Haven House wing, her plans bold. Her craft was fierce. A package arrived, no sender, just a pin, an eagle, wings wide. Memory stirred deep. A note read, for the unsilenced. Gratitude swelled high. Tara's final post hit 60 million. Elena's legacy lives. Impact soared higher. YouTube's buzzing, share your victories, she urged. Her call was fierce. My name stood firm, never erased again. Triumph was mine. If this story moved you, share it. Your voice matters. Have you faced silence and fought for truth? Connection keeps us grounded. Drop your thoughts below, let us know. Truth builds bridges. Betrayal scars, but honor reshapes it. Triumph is ours. Duty doesn't fade. It rebuilds, quiet, enduring, eternal. Legacy lives on.